The sun lingered low over Naval Air Station Fort Lauderdale on December 5, 1945. A quiet warmth dappled the tarmac, where 5 Grumman TBM Avenger torpedo bombers, sleek and purposeful, lined up in formation. Engines hummed with a steady cadence, promising another ordinary training mission. Inside those cockpits, Flight 19, 4 3-man crews and 1 duo, prepared to climb into calm skies. Their leader, Lieutenant Charles C. Taylor, was a seasoned aviator with thousands of hours under his belt and Pacific combat missions behind him. The mission: navigation problem. Number 1. Fly east, drop practice bombs over Hens and Chickens Shoals, head north over Grand Bahama, then loop southwest back home. Simple. Familiar. At 2:10 p.m., the squadron lifted off, slicing a path eastward, where the sea glittered like fractured glass. Their first leg was smooth. Bomb bays opened, ordnance hit the water, and order reigned. But as they turned north toward Grand Bahama, a subtle shift began. The sun was playing tricks, clouds masked the sea, and wind nudged them off course. At I. 3:45, Taylor's voice pierced radio silence. "Cannot see land. We seem to be off course." A hush followed. The ocean looked wrong, the compasses unreliable. A flight instructor on shore heard him say, "Both my compasses are out and I'm trying to find Fort Lauderdale. I'm over land, but it's broken. I'm sure I'm in the Keys," though they were drifting over the Bahama chain hundreds of miles away. The misidentification deepened the crisis. Taylor, convinced he was south over the Keys or the Gulf, ordered an eastward turn, ironically steering deeper into open ocean. His student pilots urged, "Damn it, if we'd just fly west, we'd get home." But military discipline gripped them tight. Minutes turned to hours. Anxiety rippled through the cockpit. Radio crackled with shifting commands. East, west, east, again. A senior instructor off the coast tried to redirect them, suggesting they follow the sun or pick a northerly heading. But Taylor's certainty drowned out practicality. By late afternoon, fear had crept in. At 4:25, a new voice crackled through, "Welcome relief," and then the final shift back to Taylor. Voices trembled. "We can't tell where we are. It looks like we are entering white water. We're completely lost." The ocean below was no longer benign. It was an expanse of uncertainty. Night descended and their fuel gauges plummeted. At 6:20 p.m., Taylor's calm command became somber. "All planes close up tight. We'll have to ditch unless landfall. When the first plane drops below 10 gallons, we all go down together." Then static swallowed the squadron forever. Back. On land, a Martin PBM Mariner took off in search, with 13 crew aboard. It sent one last routine report, then vanished. A freighter later spotted a ball of fire and oil slick, but no wreckage, no survivors. By dawn, over 300,000 square miles had been combed by ships and planes, every pattern, every reef, every fragment, but nothing. Not a single Avenger or the Mariner ever resurfaced. Days later, investigators pored over logs. Taylor, whose career was flawless, might have misread the Bahama Islands for Caribbean keys. His compasses had betrayed him, and his suspicion that instruments fail led him away from survival. The board's final report? Cause unknown. Sensitive to blame, the Navy withdrew firm judgments, leaving shadows in place of answers. Still, the legend took deeper root. Vincent Gaddis in the 1960s coined the Bermuda Triangle. Charles Berlitz in 1974 spun tales of missing compasses, ghost ships, Atlantis, interdimensional rifts, UFO abductions. Pop culture embraced it. The myth echoed in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, where Flight 19 reappears in a desert among aliens. Yet sober minds checked the facts. No AA, the U.S. Coast Guard, and researchers found no unusual spike in disappearances, here versus other major routes. The greatest force in the triangle is narrative, not nature. Peeling back drama, science offers explanations. The agonic line where magnetic north aligns with true north, confusing compasses. Sudden storms whip sea surface into chaos. Rogue waves tower. Methane leaks may collapse ships, and shallow shoals jut unexpectedly, switching roles from sea to trap. But above all, human error, misread instruments, obedience to flawed commands, refusal to trust sun or gut. In Flight 19's cockpit, those young aviators, some newly trained, trusted their leader. They stayed in formation, followed commands. Even when fear crashed in, they remained intact. That final choice, together to the end, became their bond. Even decades later, stories persist. Treasure hunters once claimed wreckage, only to find unrelated airplanes. Every cruise ship rescue sparks triangle headlines. Every anniversary, a retelling, some mingled fact, myth, or speculation. The ocean remains indifferent. Silence is its only answer. But in that silence lies true gravity. Not supernatural but human, the sun-hidden, fuel-empty dread of mid-air confusion. The decisions made, east instead of west, etched into a lost moment. Flight 19 didn't vanish into a vortex or alien grasp. It slipped into darkness because a trusted compass lied. A leader, misunderstood, and fuel ran out far from home. What remains is story, of sailors of the sky battling doubt on endless water. A lesson more poignant than mystery. When instruments fail and horizons blur, our choices, grounded in logic or led by legend, shape our fate. On a dark Atlantic night, the engines finally fell silent. Flight 19 drifted into myth. But the simplest, truth is the most haunting. Lost men, lost planes, lost by error and sea, not by magic. That quiet final hush reminds us that sometimes reality is deeper, slower, and more mysterious than fiction. I hope you liked this video. Subscribe channel for more interesting videos.